Yo, what is going on, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about the best and the worst subclasses. We're just going to be going down the list. This time I can't see the preview, so we're just going to have to take my word for it. Alright, so we're going to start from the top with our two new subclasses, Windia and Rainia. Windia in itself went from being mid to being much more impressive with this new update. It's got a lot of new fancy moves, and it honestly looks even better than it did before. I loved it before, and now I think it looks amazing. Next up, we've got Rainia. Rainia has always been one of those very powerful and very popular classes. With this newest update, most definitely a bop. Most definitely. You must play this class if you're looking for a fast EXP class, a very good dungeoning class, and a class that's not going to leave you in the wrong direction. Next up, we've got Highlander. Highlander's always kind of been top DPS. One of my favorite classes, the class that I play now. Definitely a strong class overall. With the new spread rune, it gives it a lot more room to breathe when doing EXP, and it freed it up a lot so that way that now its mobility just seems like it topples everything. Really nice, very powerful, something to look forward to for sure. Next up, we've got Sword Dancer. Sword Dancer was always kind of mid, but with these recent updates, it is severely, and I mean severely, underplayed. A lot of people do not understand the strength that a Sword Dancer really does have. It's always had the mobility, it just never had the strength 100%, but really with these last few updates, it's starting to shine a lot now, and I'm happy for it because it's one of those classes where I wish it was just played more, but a lot of people just didn't have the capability or the funding, or just simply didn't want to switch over or didn't think it was worth it. So with it now, I definitely do think that this is definitely one of the better warrior classes now. It's a warrior subclass, but obviously now you can use subclasses with every single class no matter what class you pick. So just as far as it being a subclass, I would definitely say that this is a top DPS class for sure. Terror Knight, this class right here, man, I think that it's not as strong as it used to be comparatively to the other classes, but it definitely is still one of the best. It's very tanky, it has lifesteal, a lot of stuns. The mobility has definitely increased with this patch. It now moves around very good. Do I think that it's like a top DPS class right now? Absolutely. I still think that it's still kind of mid dungeoning though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Next up, we've got Psykicker. Psykicker, I think, is honestly pretty fire. It's very naturally strong, and when I say naturally strong, you only need 2 skills pretty much from its whole roster to wipe any map. It's all the same gameplay. It's one of those auto-attacking classes. Like if you're from Maple or like a game where you're constantly auto-attacking, you'll definitely find yourself enjoying this class for sure. Next up, we've got Phantom Mage. Phantom Mage was always kind of mid because of its high funding, but now it's still a bit on the higher funding side because you still need strength and magic to use it. But it's good to see that it's doing a lot better now for sure. I don't want to call it a top DPS class. It's still kind of mid with EXPing, but it's definitely something to look forward to when you dungeon runs. Maestro. Maestro has always been very powerful. As you can see, literally its magic bars to the roof. Very strong, very powerful. I don't really need to say much about this class. It's also got lifesteal, it's top damage. Dungeoning, I definitely do think that a lot of people will pick a class like this because it's just so headstrong, and not only that, but it's tanky too, and that's something that you don't really see with a lot of mages, and this right here takes the cake for sure. It's literally a magic tank. It's like a magic version of Agni almost. I really do love the way that this class plays. Next up, we've got Rogue Master. Rogue Master just got another buff. It's really cool. I actually really enjoy this buff. I'm glad to see that it's so far ahead of its time now. It's definitely getting back up there. I'd say top 10 DPS class and a top 15 EXP class. So it's still relatively good rankings. It's a very popular class, but you know, a lot of them are not of quality yet to really say. But Rogue Master, awesome. Judgement. Oh man, Judgement. I love Judgement so much, and it pains me to say this, but it still sucks. It is not good, bro. I love Judgement so much. It's one of those classes where like it looks badass and it plays badass, but with the recent changes, a lot of people really didn't like them. It's definitely a lot more playable than it was in previous patches, but it still needs help. I hope that they revisit it again, and please make it strong. Please make it strong. That's all I have to say about that. Next up, we got Starseeker. Starseeker has always been one of those undergrad classes because everybody knows it's strong and most people just don't want to fund it, because if you play this class you can't really play the other classes to efficiency. There's accessory sets and items in the game specifically for Starseeker, and you won't find other classes using those sets as much. So most sets or most classes use the same set. Starseeker has different items and different sets that it uses. So when you're playing Starseeker, just know that that's going to be a deal while playing. Just know that for sure. Last but not least, we got Jewel Star, man. Jewel Star is one of my favorite mage classes. It's very good performer. It's a little bit underwhelming with damage, but its support makes up for it. It's got a taunt that now moves and it taunts all the enemies away from you. So that's a huge deal, and that's why, you know, it might be not 100% on the DPS side, but it honestly might be considered a bottom 5 worst class, really. It's just a matter of how you decide to look at it. In my eyes, I love the class and I think that it's great, especially for a support class. I don't really expect for support classes to be super strong, but this for sure is definitely something to check out for sure. If you're looking for a fun, lighthearted class that definitely will be capable of doing some damage. It might need a little bit more funding than other classes for sure, but it does come with a lot of really good benefits while attacking. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll check you guys out on the next one. Peace.